everyone, it's Nina and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please forgive my voice. I'm trying to get over a cold right now, so that's why my voice sounds a little bad. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to sew your point shoes on a sewing machine and how to sew your point shoes with a loop ribbon. If you don't have a sewing machine, I highly recommend investing in one. It is super helpful if you want to sew a group of point shoes really quickly. And don't worry, I will be showing how to sew the loop ribbon without a sewing machine as well. And with that, let's continue on to the video. So for today's tutorial, you will need point shoes, elastic, stretch ribbon, scissors, a pencil, some sewing pins, and depending on how you will be sewing today, a needle and thread or your sewing machine. I will be using my mom's Brother LB 6800 embroidery and sewing machine. It is an amazing sewing machine and has worked great for sewing point shoes. These beauties that I will be sewing today are my Russian point V-cut ribbons. So first off, I'm going to prep my point shoes by removing all of the stickers and rubbing off any excess glue. So for hand sewing, I use Russian point thread and a medium needle with a large eye. So first, I'm taking my current pair of point shoes and measuring the elastic. You're just going to want to take your measuring tape and measure all the way around the loop. So my measurement came out to be 8 inches. Next, I'm going to take my nice huge roll of Russian point elastic and measure the 8 inches and cut it. Then you're going to want to burn both ends of your elastic. This will help prevent fraying, but don't set your elastic on fire. If you are younger, please have a parent assist you or supervise you. Next, I will be measuring the elastic again by taking the elastic I just cut and putting it over my elastic on my old shoe and seeing if it is correct. Mine ended up being 2 inches too long, so I just cut off the excess. This step is a bit hard to explain, but mark your elastic to how tight you want it by making a line where the edge of the point shoe is on your elastic. Test what works for you by pinning it and trying it on. The more elastic you put down in the point shoe, the tighter it will be. The less you put in, the looser it will be. Next, I like to place my elastics right outside of the back seam. This ensures that my shoe will not fall off my heel. Then I just pin it on and compare it to my old shoes, try it on and make sure everything is in the right place, and then we can start sewing. So first I'm going to show you how I used to sew when I hand sewed my point shoes. I like to sew with a double thread, which ensures the sturdiness of my stitches. I thread the needle and then take both ends of the string and knot it twice. You want to make sure that your knot is big enough so it won't pass through the point shoe. I start my stitches outside of the elastic, going to the elastic using my middle finger with a thimble and pushing the needle through. I then go in between the entrance and exit of my first stitch. This usually would take me about 15 to 20 minutes to finish both sides of the elastic. As for the ribbon, I sew exactly the same way. It just takes me a little bit less time because it's not as thick as the elastic. And keep doing the back and forth motion in a box shape twice. This is one of my hand-sewn shoes from a while back, but this is what my stitches would usually look like. If you are hand sewing, continue the process on the other shoe and skip to how to sew the loop ribbon. If you are sewing with your sewing machine, follow the previous steps and make sure your elastic is pinned how you want it. Here are the settings that I will be sewing on my machine today. Yes, my Ghana-Minden ladies and gents, this is Ghana-Minden friendly, just be sure to sew slower when you're sewing Ghana-Mindens. So first you're going to slide your point shoe under the needle and prep your sewing machine to start sewing. And thank you to my lovely mom for helping me demonstrate this. Make sure the needle is lined up with the seam of your shoe and start sewing slowly. You're going to want to sew forward 5 stitches and then go backwards 3 stitches and repeat going backwards and forwards all along your elastic to ensure that you have a strong connection. Make sure you are sewing straight by holding your point shoes steady. Be sure not to sew over your pins either, take them out as you go. Once it looks secure to you, cut it and then cut off the excess string. Now we can move on to sewing the ribbon. I use Russian point stretch ribbon. It's super soft and sturdy. Remember, you can only use stretch ribbon for this method. Any other regular ribbon will not work. Remember when pinning your ribbon to make sure that the shiny side or the slick side of your ribbon is outside and the textured part is on the inside. This will make a difference, so make sure you pin it on correctly. Then you are going to want to measure your ribbon to your foot. Start by holding it at your arch, bringing it around the outside of your ankle, wrapping around your ankle once, then crossing over to the other side of your arch. Make it a bit tighter than you think, remembering the ribbon does stretch, but do not make it so that it will be uncomfortable for you. Again, as we did with the elastic, you're going to want to measure how tight you want your ribbon, which is measuring how far you want it in the point shoe. I like my ribbon just a little bit behind the middle seam, so that is where I'm going to pin my ribbon. When pinning your ribbon, make sure that the loop has no twists in it and it's just a singular, clean loop. Always be sure to try everything on before you start sewing. We will be sewing exactly how we sewed the elastics. Slide your point shoe under the needle, making sure the needle is in line with the seam. Then you are going to sew back and forth until your ribbon has a sturdy connection to your shoe. Then after you've sewn both sides of your elastics and both sides of your ribbons, you'll want to try on the shoe to make sure that everything is exactly how you want it. Here is how to tie a point shoe with the loop ribbon. It is super easy once you get the hang of it. Hold the loop in front of you, making sure it's not twisted. Cross the inside over the outside and pull over the front of your shoe. Untwist the front, then cross the outside over the inside to make a small loop. Bring the loop over the front of your shoe and smooth and straighten it out. Again, hold the loop in front of you, making sure it's not twisted. Cross the inside over the outside and pull over the front of your shoe. Untwist the front, then cross the outside over the inside to make a small loop. Bring the loop over the front of your shoe and smooth and straighten it out. Then I just mark my point shoes with a letter, and then I mark right and left. you so much for watching this week's video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And be sure to hit your post notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload any new videos. See you in the next one. Bye!